Okay. Let's get this party started. Let me get rid of this. Going on, y'all? Glad to see y'all out here, man. Glad to see y'all coming in. I'm about to post this up. Let everybody know we in the hizzy. We doing our thug thizzle. We out here, we doing our thing. Digital. The new photo ain't coming up. We'll do that in just a minute. But let's go ahead and grab the YouTube video. Post it everywhere and let everybody know we live. Man, I hope y'all doing good. Hope y'all been out there reading that news too and just not blindly following anybody when you don't have to. You guys are astute. You guys know what's going on. I'm just glad to sit here and read you this little news while it's up in front of us in our face, And I'm very grateful to be reporting to y'all. Paste. Okay, we got one done. Okay, let's do the Mr. Brando page here. Publish. Done. Okay, let's go ahead and go to number 2. Oh, I hope y'all don't hear my tummy. Kind of hungry. Okay, a couple more seconds here. Let me put on Twitter. Man, y'all go out there and like and share this while I'm doing it. Ain't no sense in holding it. Okay. Let's go back to, right there. Let's push play. We got 33 people in here. Okay, we got 5 minutes, so we got to get started. What up, Sammy B? What up, Senor Fate? Sammy D, hit the like. Yeah, please go ahead and hit the like now. Let's get that out the way. 54 people, 34 likes, good ratio. We can keep going. Mr. Brando, Chef Gang, man, one of my favorite chefs on the internet. Chef Heavy Metal, man, you got to go out there and holler at him. Jose, what's up, brother? Ernest Jones, hello, sir. Ray Osborne, gang, man, and it's gang, always on our gang. Shout out my gang all the time. Shanty, you know that's fam, that's gang. Jeffrey Brown. Yeah, I'm about to talk my ish in just a few seconds, Jeffrey. Let me talk about some things. And the reason why I like to use those frameworks because I don't see it a lot out there. Now, I do see people talking about banks and stuff, but that's chitter chatter has been going back and forth with Iraq for forever. It's whatever with that. But we know what we did. We know how we came out there, and then people regurgitate it because they filling in, man. They listening to this show as they should. Dimitri, yeah, you've missed a lot, bro. There's a lot going on. Chef Gang, DC Big E, Jeffrey Dockett, what up, fam? Margarita Man, what up, fam? Robert, what's going on? Tanisha James, what up, fam? Margarita Man, you already know that's fam. Paul, what up, homie? You already know that's fam. Yeah, big bro, good morning. D Holler, what's up? Chopper 51. Man, snowstorm brewing right there in VA, but all good. Man, I'm going to tell y'all, I got a sweater on, I got a hoodie on, I got jeans on, thermals on, and socks. Man, it's so cold here. I'm like, wow. And I hate to break it to folks, I don't get cold easily. It takes a lot to get me cold. Sammy D, thank you. Hit that like. La Mots, gang, gang, gang. It's always gang for us. AJ Jordan, hello, Mr. B. I hope all's well. Did all my homework, got more than our good. Corporate practitioner, shout out Megan, man. Shout out the Prez. She doing things. She run her business. Tony Duff, shout out Megan, man. She got a lot done on the website too, man. She had a great week. Georgie Kason, hey fam, what's going on, fam? Sean Warfield, gang, it's gang all day. Tony Duff, best time on YouTube. Thank you, man. Try to do this. Denise. You know that's gang. Kellner, man, she been with me a hot minute. Melvin Hayes, hot minute. That's family. Brother Jamal, what's up? Hot minute, fam. Market Nesbitt, gang. That's what's up, man. It's on gang. I put this on everything. That's why I don't call you subscribers. That's why I don't call you followers. I call you a gang because you unruly. You don't take anybody's ish. You guys are out there to help propagate what you're trying to fulfill without tearing down the next man. And you're always willing to, when you see someone and they say gang, you say it back. That's love. Oh, you like her? Thank y'all. Eric, what up, my dog? Family right there. Sean, what up, man? Oh, be careful going to VA. Pamela, Financial Fridays. Man, good to see you. Big shout out to Miss Deb. Making some recoveries. Man, love that lady. Ray Osborne. Money needs to hit so I can move to Thailand. I hear you on that, Nicole. Paul Lund. Hey, Paul Lund. What's up? Yeah, you know, that's Paulie. Emily Black. Yo, Mr. B about to go down with the ISX big dog. Yes, I got some ISX news that's so startling. It was like, to me, it was like, yo, man. And they even commented on the currency. And this came out of a publication from Iraq. Grant, man, yo, what's going on, baby? How you doing? How you feeling? What's going on? Good to see you, my dog. There's a whole bunch of news. Let's get to it. Oh, my hair's looking fine. Thank you, Greg, man. You know, I try to keep my hair up, do my thing, you know, keep myself looking at some type of different, you know, support and whatever. Let's get our bombs going, because I got some bombs for you. Oh, I like that one. Yeah. Sturdy. Nah, it's trash. Yes, bring it down. So y'all remember 2, 6, or 5. When I call out the news and you want to hear the buzzer, if I could get back to it, man, J Lee, gang all day. I'm going to jump back to it. We're going to try to keep the bombs propagated by what we read, by what everybody asked for. So if I messed it up, don't get mad at me the first time. It's April 6th. I want to talk about the Silk Road, and I want to talk about why it is encompassing of everything you do. And I want to talk about partnerships as opposed to like Asia going into Africa, basically buying resources, hulling them out, getting rid of the sources, and they own the land, they own the sources, everything. The thing that's going on in Iraq, it's a partnership, and no person, a foreign investor, can go in there and own a 50-50 company, let alone a company that you own the majority of. They won't let you do it. They won't let you do it on a stock exchange. I know that. I tried to buy inside the PepsiCo. I'm going to tell you all about that in a minute. I tried to buy inside Pepsi. They told me it was sold out. So I had to work with Asia Sell, and I just cleaned up there, but it's a great purchase as a stock. Says the nucleus of this agreement are previous pivotal bilateral agreements that begin since the resigned prime minister took over the portfolio of the minister of oil during the presidency of the Dr. Abadi. Infrastructure starting from the economic principle that there is no development without infrastructure, as easy investment in infrastructure ensures economic growth 1.5 times that investment. Man, so you could take anything. You could take your dinar, you could take your LISX and just throwing this out there. They said without infrastructure or with infrastructure, you could times your investment by 1.5%. What does that tell you as a consumer? I mean, it really tells you that you're in a good, spot right now. I mean, going forward from here on out, and I've had articles that are now even coming out that they're saying, hey, look, even the currency's a decent value. It's going to make you money in the long term. I'm going to read it to you. It comes straight off an Iraqi government website. But they're telling that to their people. And I'm also going to show you that how inside of LISX, and shout out LISX, if you want to join LISX, you need to hit up Megan. You need to hit up the chat in here. How are you going to have 300,000 dinar and not have some blocks? You're going to spend that 300,000. Well, 22% of it's going in taxes. So you down to what? You down to 3, so 66. You about 240-ish. If you live in a major metropolitan city, you might be able to put a chunky down on a house. Maybe start you a little in-house business. But, you ain't going to really have much to ball on. If you're looking for that to be Rolex money, if you're looking for that to be homestead generational wealth, might I just say, if I may make a retort, that I really believe investing in the stock exchange in Iraq through our group is beneficial. One, I'm on here all the time. It ain't like you don't know me. It ain't like you don't see me. And our principle, you can ask Megan, is I want y'all to get paid. I want you to get paid just so I can say we made another millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire. I got people with 100 blocks. I never thought I could say that. Being, just little old me, just trying to do my thing. I've got people with over 100 blocks. Man, the belief in this is so massive. And it's not just us. It's market spaces. It's hedge funds. There's people out there really talking about ISX and what it can do. And by the way, they still said the currency was a decent investment. We're going to get that. We know that Iraq neglected certain aspects of its economy due to the fact that it was under corruption and control. They're about to pick up major points because as they don't pay Kuwait, so goes that money into the fund, which strengthens the economy. Part of it goes into 2 other sub funds. And we know that that's going to strengthen the infrastructure and the purchasing power of the students. Not the students, of the citizens, because we also know that having a hedge fund or some type of investment vehicle for government, especially for the people, by the people, does generate massive returns. It's kind of like what we do. I'm looking at a stock exchange and saying, okay, this is 1/1,000,000th of a penny. Now, if I went in there with $1,000, that's a lot. But if I go in there with 10,000, think about that. If I go in there with $1,000, you're going to get a lot of stock. But if I go in there with 10,000, you know how much stock I'm going to have? You know how many opportunities? I'm going to tell you about these dividends too in just a minute. In order to find out about Iraq's budget since the year of change, we note its growth over time by huge amounts in terms of quantity and not quality. It started by $14 billion in 2013 and to reach $112 billion in 19. Now remember, 19 was COVID numbers, so starting in 2003, 14 billion is really respectable. You get all the way up to 112 billion in 2019, and a cash accumulation into the addition of the present 222.3 billion. Now, a lot of this went to fake projects, according to the Prime Minister's Advisor's Office. Now, this was in 2019. However, they have curbed control of that, the Iraqi economy, which means that there is a little bit of waste of money, but they need to have a really developmental budget and an operating budget to make sure they stick to tax. And that'll motivate the government to focus on required infrastructure. Required infrastructure being oil and gas, especially the flare-ups, marketing your natural gas product, also sewing up that port from southern Iraq up to northern Iraq, getting that pipeline closed down and shut down. That's going to be a major, trust me, that's going to be the thing that's going to give your currency value. You use that oil as a derivative going through that pipeline. You cut it down all the way to liters. You figure out how many liters, and then from there you divide it by the number it is, and that's the number you come up with. And you know it's right because every day you're going to settle your business in that number with your border exchange policies that you guys have sewn up recently. Returning to the Iraq Chinese government, its main objective is to focus on infrastructure through a non-cash allowance, but rather to reserve 100,000 barrels of oil per day, which will be placed in a credit account at a Chinese bank. I don't think that's unfair. You do the work, you ought to get the money. I mean, honestly, if you don't want cash, you want oil, because what people don't understand, some people do work on a barter system. Some of them do. It's not really a bad thing. There's sub-comments going on here. I'll read you the headers. It says physical structures. The question is, why does Iraq choose China for its economic resistance? Does the new government seek to revive this agreement? We hope so. Notice the word at the end of that, we hope so. Wow, that's huge. Next thing that I have for you guys is, I have to say, I'm very proud of Sauder. I am right now. I mean, it could all go to hell in a handbasket at any moment, and I don't think it is. And to these people out there that are saying, you said we were Article 8, and now you're saying we're not. I never said we're not. Keep up with the conversation, slow kids in the back. That's done. I'm past that. I've moved on. That's why I don't, for the person that said, you talk about this stuff all the time. I don't talk about that all the time. I talk about what needs to be talked about. We know February 9th is a huge day. Man, why don't you listen with both ears instead of picking your nose with one? And then, of course, not listening with the other. Come on now. I think it's really Kiani was in Iraq of the Quds Force. And if you don't know who Kiani is, he's the leader of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, or IRGC. I always say after an attack, slowly wait for the IRGC to come over there and say, I don't know what happened, but it wasn't us. I don't know what happened. That is the quickest thing that they are going to do. They're so pathetic. They went to Sadr for a solution in the Shiite differences and reunifying the Shiite house according to the political agreements in 2003. But Sadr, guess what? He rejected him in any scenario of them forming the new government. And as a cherry on top, Kiani failed to change Sadr's position on some leaders of the framework, specifically on the leader of the state of law, Nouriel Maliki, in reference. And that's where you guys, outside of this meeting right here, they were chanting, citizens, corruption, lock him up, lock him up. I've never, in all the time that I've been involved in Iraq, heard the public state that he raped, pillaged, took, and now they want to hold him accountable in a higher court than Iraq. That to me was, man, come on, can I get an amen on that one? There's a difference between real populism and fake populism. You're about to find out with Sadr what real populism is and what fake populism is. I'm not going to sit here and stress you out on both because I think it's obvious. If you're for the country and for the people, then you're for the country and for the people. If you're for self, then he would go back to a quota system and steal all the money he could and forget what's going on anywhere else. But he hadn't done that. He stayed true to the game. He's holding tight. He's propping up our position more so than we can. And for him, man, I want to say thank you, please, and thank you. I need you to stay strong, Sadr, for a month or so more. I always like to find thing in 3, so I found it again. It said, Hussein added in an interview with Al Sabah, the private sector's relationship with the economic growth process has been subject to in-depth discussion within the framework of international cooperation, as most economic studies have confirmed the existence of a positive relationship between them. Because productivity growth is closely related to private investment, she pointed out that with the transformations that took place in the economic policies in the last 2 decades of the last century towards the market, this reinforced a great dependence on the private sector and overall investments. On the other hand, its need to increase the ratio of private investments to the GDP on the other hand. I'm going to show you guys in a few minutes how the GDP, as opposed to investment, specifically the stock exchange, is not in total sync with Iraq, and why I'm telling you guys right now that it's your sleeper pick for 2022 for any stock exchange anywhere. I'm going to tell you that one. This is interesting. Check this out. It's part of this article. It says strategic projects. In her return, a member of the administration board of the Iraqi Economists Association, that's Dr. Ikram Adel Aziz, said, investors need to develop a private sector and is able to enter into a partnership and an agreement with that guarantees upgrading the reality of the private sector through sectoral interwinning with companies. If your stock exchange already has the NASDAQ's OMX software patterning it and pumping it through, you've got less than 5% of the Iraqi government, supporting with less than $1 million a day being traded and an overall capitalization of 11.6 billion, but you're only trading $1 million a day, you can buy and hodl and hold on for dear life with this and watch. Because there's only 5% of the infrastructure in Iraq, putting money into it, it has nowhere but to go but up. Saudi Arabia's ratio is, I'll show you in a second, but it's much huger. Okay, this is it right here. The ISX has 104 listed companies. I told you that about the market capitalization. He said the majority of investors are local retail, as foreign investors and local institutions have yet to enter the marketplace. The exchange is fully electronic using a state-of-the-art NASDAQ OMX platform. But new investors will find the market can be bureaucratic, illiquid, and expensive. Growth in the consumer sectors is well represented on the ISX. The share price of Asia Cell, we have almost 100 and something million shares of Asia Cell. A mobile phone carrier, majority owned by Qatar's Oriano, was up over 40% last year. They did pay a dividend because of it being at a lower rate. We just took our money and reinvested it. The local Pepsi bottler was over 30%. Couldn't buy into that one because it's closed out. There's too many foreign investors as opposed to Iraqi investors. They paid out 2.5%. Can you imagine that stock exchange going forward as it goes into Europe and it finds its way in the hands of people that find out this stock exchange has been outperforming stock exchanges all around the world with fewer companies? And because at these lower rates, while they can get in, they have an opportunity for real growth potential. In a massive and growing export economy like Iraq, we see the currency as a positive for investors. Let me read that again. In a massive and growing, and this came from an Iraqi governmental website. I didn't get this out of Search Dinar. I didn't get this out of Iraqi Dinar on Twitter. This came straight from a governmental site, as does most of the stuff that I try to give you guys, because I hate that people be like, oh, well, that's an article. Well, yeah, if it's on an Iraqi website that's English, I try to grab it for you and give you some context. All right, now I'm about to get mad at y'all. We got 130 people in here and 82 likes? That's it? Y'all don't love me no more? Y'all don't love me? Can I get some love in here? 83. Can we get it over 100 at least? Come on, man. I'm about to give you the Bombay. There it goes, 90. Can at least 130. You ought to at least be over 100. Come on now. The market at a very early stage is still down 50% to its peak in 2014. Just before ISIS, I always said in 2014 to 16, I thought the Iraqi the economy was going to move in a positive direction, and that ISIS came in and tore everything up. It messed everything up for me, but they still hadn't paid off Kuwait. Difference between now and then, we have no external debt. Dude, this is huge. According to the database, Barclay Hedge, our fund, IIPI, was the best performing emerging market hedge fund in the world with an increase of 13.57%. A good way to measure potential, and we talk about this a lot here, of the Iraqi stock market is to utilize market capitalization into your GDP ratio. We talk a lot about GDP. We talk a lot about ratios. This should resonate to people that are investors. In other words, the size of the local market compared to the size of the economy. In Iraq, it is only 5.5%. 5.5% are using the market capitalization to GDP rate. That should tell each of you that it is in the infancy, not wholly in the conceptual stage, but running on some major power. And this thing is going to go way further than, and I'm going to show you, 5.5%. And the closest comp, neighboring Saudi Arabia, with a smaller population and similar reserves, the ratio is 72%. That means 72% of the people that live there or that believe in Saudi Arabia and their country from an economic standpoint buy into their stock market. We only got 5.5 in Iraq. You try to tell me somewhere else that you're going to find an emerging market that's about to be internationally recognized, that's going to have the jump off go inside of Europe, and we're only at 5.5. We double once we get to 10%. Double. You get triple when you get to 15%. Triple if it goes like Saudi, you are up over 70% in liquidity. What kind of person don't like money? To give you rough math, let me take a context. I gave you Asia Cell. I said I had about over 100 million shares. There's more, but let's call it 100 million. If this thing went from 5.5% to 10%, it doubled. So whatever the value is, let's not count the value at my 100 million shares. Now they're worth 200 million shares. Or they're worth the value of each stock times 2, which Asiatic Shell is pretty cheap. It's a reasonably priced stock. But even if it doubled, I doubled the profits. I didn't have to do anything to this stock. All I had to do was get inclusion, get people to buy into it. Now, here's the thing. Are they going to buy into it as it sits right now? No, because only retail and local investors are buying into it. But when it launches in the European Union, let me give you some numbers. Neighboring Saudi Arabia with a smaller population, similar reserves is 72%. Kuwait is 23%. And in Jordan, it's 55%. So if you were taking an average from 23 to 77, you're going to come out in the high 50s. We bought in at 5. That's 100x the money. You need to join the Noble Institution, get the $1,000, buy in, budget it out, have some business sense about it, budget the $30 out, put your money in, and guess what? It's like you doubling your investment because of the size of the buy from the group. And also with that, that every time we figure out there's more percentage of the populace buying into the fund, that guess what? Your money's going to go up, 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 up. Now, the market at its very early stage is down 50% like we talked about. That was 2014. Now, the market hedge fund in the world was 2019 was 13.5%. That was the Iraqi fund. It went up 13.57%. Now, this would imply Iraq would achieve a 13x growth in the market. You name another market out there, and you could even name some cryptocurrencies. For real, they don't get 13 times the original value. They just don't. But we can't forget that Iraq's denominator is the GDP itself, and the GDP is rapidly growing. I thought it was very interesting that on Thursday, Coordinating Framework revealed that Souders to unite the House with this other guy, and I don't really believe that to be true. Hamimi, I believe, is his name. But part of it was that if they joined forces, that they were supposed to drop Nouriel Maliki as beating the chairperson of the state of law. Inside of this, you've had conflict in, not only call it rioting, you've had protesting going outside where the people are upset about the elections. I get all that. Everybody's upset about elections. Hell, people are upset about elections here. That doesn't make anything to me. But for them to specifically name Nouriel Maliki as one of the persons for crimes against humanity, for looting funds, for misappropriation funds, for all that stuff, I think is a huge transitional piece from where we came from when we started about 3 years ago to now. I never heard anything like that, ever. I was truly surprised, was truly astonished. And you guys, I'm going to give you a small hint. When you see articles out there that say state of law, that's Nouriel Maliki's group. When you see framework, that's Nouriel Maliki's group. Hamani and the rest of those guys, they're on the state of law, but they're on other ones. So don't get excited when you hear them say, well, the state of law says they're not going to pass a budget because they're not going to reduce the rate of the exchange between the dollar and the dinar to the previous number. That's crap. We don't want to see the previous number. We want to see the inherent value with cross-border settlement, with taxes enforced, with everything going on, with no restrictions on the currency. What's that currency worth? And they're going after that. I thought it was so interesting that even Turkey's jumping on the bandwagon with Iraq, digging out that dry port and then helping install the rail system that's going to go between the two companies, and the Italians are going to perform the rail system. Do you see everybody working inside of Iraq is not U.S. population? That's why when people come to me and be like, well, the president ain't got shit to do with this. The president of this country ain't got the shit to do with Iraq. If you are sovereign, you are sovereign. If you handling your business, you handling it. For those that are stuck in the dark ages, those are probably the same ones that are over there chanting, lock Maliki up, because they don't understand how elections work. Even the federal court said we can't abolish the election results from what happened a few days ago. You can't cut and paste. Who is that? That's Maliki. That's the Amiris. That's the state of laws. That's what do you call them? Iraq Revolutionary Guard. That's the ones that are with that one group, and they're over there. We're going to change the dollar. Why would they change the dollar exchange rate when they stole all the money? Why? Makes zero sense. It is noteworthy that activating this port, this rail system between Iraq via Turkey, which Iraq is implementing through the understanding the Italian company, will enhance the movement of internal and external commercial transport and also carry out the will of the Silk Road. What? Silk Road? The thing that I've always talked about now for going on 3 years, and it will reduce the time transporting goods between the countries of Europe and Asia within the Silk Road. In general, it will open up a huge financial resource for Iraq, which will support its general budget well and contribute to reviving various economic sectors. That's it. That is it, y'all. Somebody gave us something. Let me see what somebody gave us. Hold on here. Let me go to YouTube. Jay Empowers, thank you, man. No, Jay, you can't be paid in cryptos. The reason why is I'm not equipped for it. The way you'll get paid by my company is whatever the host country of the money it comes out of, it gets converted into whatever host country that I'm sending it to, and then that is it. You take the money, you deal with the taxes. I'm now in a position that I'm actually trying to negotiate with a couple banks, and trying to get the spread knocked down, because once you send over $5 million, you can pay anywhere from 1.5% to 10% on your money. So I'm negotiating now with our banks and saying, I don't want to pay that much. I want to pass that savings on. And just for the privilege of you having the money, even if for days but not hours, you recouped interest from it. So they can't pull a fast one on us. Kind of like the spread is on the exchange. Yeah, I'm going to negotiate everything. If I got enough cash and enough clout, enough people behind me, of course I'm going to go in there and negotiate for them. But thank you for your question, and thank you for your $5 donation. And that was Jay Empowers. Thank you, sir. No, Shanta, I'm very, very, very on kind of the slow side with Kazemi. I really thought he was going to definitely be the PM. I still do. I don't see another choice out there that's viable or anybody that's even halfway good. So I really think he's going to do it. Hey, Grant. Gang. AJ Jordan, Bahamas in the house. Hey, it's always good on my Bahamas people. TH, what up, B? What up, bro? Sean, reach out to Megan right now during the show and ask her what's going on. D Holler, I'm coming. LISX. Man, get on it, baby. Got 8 blocks. Man, if the way Megan's got them blocks figured at over $1 million a piece, if you got 8 of them, you're worth $8 million a year paid out per quarter. That's what this is about. It's about making millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires. Asa Marduk, hi, how you doing, sir? Show. Wanda just throwing up them bombs. How can we join Big A? Hey, go to thenobleinstitution.com. I'm going to post a link again in here for you guys. But go to that website. Go to the general, which is just $30 a month. I know people, well, it's not fair. You're paying you. Yeah, services ain't free. Sorry. You want free money? Go stand in a soup line. Over here, you want to get paid? You're going to pay. That's just the way it goes anywhere. You can't buy stock and not buy it. Come on now. You guys got to be up on it. I don't want to pay. Then you don't want to be rich. Whatever little dinar you hold on to that, because you're going to need that. I'm going to be spending derivative money for the rest of my life. I mean, here's the thing. The government doesn't have to be seated for the currency based upon the information we know to be fully international. But it does probably need to be international before a fully seated government's in there. So it's a catch-22, and it's going to happen, Sammy D. Trust me, all this smoke and mirrors with the prime minister As long as they don't hire some, they don't really have a feasible choice right now. They're out there blowing out names. And even the corrupt are going to realize I'd rather take my chances with Kazemi than take my chances with some go hard G.I. Joe person that might want to turn me over to a federal courting system for theft. Hey, Dan01, what's up, man? Yeah, Maliki going to feel it. Yeah, they going to get him, man. He's on the list. DC Big AP hit the like button. This gentleman's bringing it. Yeah, I'm trying. Really am. Holding your reinvestment is totally up to you. For tax purposes, I have to release that money. I'm not paying the taxes for your investment. It's not fair. I had to start the account to put up the money, even though you guys invested, we did our thing. But however, why am I going to pay taxes on the company when you should be holding it in your own currency? You're a big boy, you're a big girl. Get out there and figure it out. Do a citizen bond investment. Do something. Figure out some tax diversification. We've talked about it for 3 years now on here. There should be more diversification. Hey, Mike. Hey, Jay. Thank you, sir. Gurkha Legend, what's up? Long time right there, Gurkha. Denise, when do they have to pick the PM by? According to the analysis, since the court said they have 30 days, Jeff can't wait to see who reclaims the stolen monies. And they'll stat. And yeah, if y'all was on my Facebook, I put this picture of this Muppet. He was looking back and forth. I'm like, well, it's in my Chase account. Now, if you're an old schooler like me, you could be like, well, I want to pulse it when cars are all pulse. Can I pulse it out? I don't want to go in the bank. Can I pulse it out? Man, them people set up for failure. That means more reclaimed funds go back into the Iraq reserves and they can burn that money off or add to their future investments. Saludos, Mr. Brando. Puerto Rico in the big house. I love, man, Puerto Rico. Love it. Eduardo Martinez Santana. Man, bro. Woo! Love your place. I love it there. Wanda said, it's easy to join 3 months ago. Yeah, it's easy. It really is easy. I tell people all the time, bet your Netflix don't get turned off. Bet your Hulu don't get turned off. Now, if you knew you were putting money into something that's going to give you dividends, it's going to pay you out for the rest of your life, you couldn't come up with the money. You can come up with Netflix, Hulu, and HBO Max to watch Power. What's more important, money or TV? Or can you do both and you're just not managing well? That's the other question. Okay, Chief, reach out to Megan. Hit Megan up on the site, Chief. Log in. Hit Megan up and ask her where do you want to invest it in and how it works. Oh, yeah, the Pope blessed it, yeah. The woman they talked about hasn't been in the news as of this week. Honestly, as the news goes as a cycle, this week was very slow. Dwayne, what's going on, bro? Saludos, Boricua, Margarita, yes. She said, hola, look, they talking Spanish. I love it, man. Appreciate the info, Brando. Wish I had dinar. I only have Dawn because of my bank. Doesn't sell it dinar. But bro, Senor Fate, you can have stock. You got Zelle? You got Venmo? You want to buy some stock? You can buy stock. If I tell people this all the time, if I could take the sum total of every Iraqi dinar that I own and I could invest it into the LISX instead of trying to build two platforms, I would much rather give that money to the stock market than take it in dinar. Dinar's fool's money. Dividends paid 4 times a year. I can only exchange that money once. That's a 3-to-1 ratio that I'm going to come up. And over time, I'm going to have more money than I had sitting inside of my holdings of dinar. This is easy math, kids. This ain't rocket science. This ain't me like, well, if you take this, you put it into this node and you do this. We ain't talking that. We just talking simplification of if I could get paid 4 times a year, is that better than once with taxes? It's easy. Man, shout out Hawaii. Hawaii has really come on the map. Shout out my boy Bill Massey. Man, I swear to God, these guys are like political activists. They get on it. They get people. They get them because they're trying to share in the blessing. That's the humanity in it. Yeah, I make something from it, but you know what? It really behooves me as the company owner to sit back and say, man, do you see all these millionaires and billionaires that we have? People of importance, not because of the money, but because they believe in a singular idea that's going to take them to a different position in life. How can you not appreciate that person as a person? Man, Cabo San Luco, Mexico in the house. Grant, you are correct. Thank you, sir. Man, Senor Frey, you've been with me so long. I think you like my cousin. Like, I don't even know. You know, you already know how I think. Puerto Rico in the house. Yeah, man. If you don't know, now you know. I'm going, man, you know I wear it. My Puerto Rico shirt, I be on that beach. Shout out Hawaii. Shout out Puerto Rico. Shout out America. Shout out London. We got investors from London. Shout out the Bahamas. We got investors. Shout out Canada for the 1 or 2 that's left. Shout out Malaysia. We got 2 or 3 over there. Shout out Europe. We got a few over there. Man, we're worldwide. This ain't no small things playing with small things, man. We way over 100,000 invested. We did it all within basically the pandemic time. I'm very proud of the people. I'm very proud of what they've done, and I can't wait for you guys to get your dividends. And honestly, I'm going to be so excited for that. Look for improvements on the website, kid. Megan's coming up with some different things to show the amount of money invested, your percentage via by a code. It's going to be a pie chart. We're thinking about different ideas. There's some major investments that are coming. We're buying the energy company here next week. We're going to start the fintech next week. I ain't stopping. Y'all can hold put and wait. I got to keep hustling. I have to, man. It's in my blood. It's in my DNA. I got to keep moving and grooving. Because what's the fun of making this money if I can't triple that? Thank you, Aja, Michael Haggard, Alita, Maxwell. What flag is that, Maxwell? Is that Bahamas? Look like Bahamas. What up, bro? Long time. Brownlee mentioned in his last audio that Iraq can add value, but they want to make sure they can be stable outside of the energy markets. I only listen to you and him. I used to listen to Breitling. I really did until he, I don't want to get into it about him, but I used to listen to him. He was one of the people I really enjoyed. I really liked him. I don't disagree with what he's saying. I just disagree with his philosophy with the energy markets. It has nothing to do with energy. Because oil is it's going to be what it's going to be. And believe it or not, oil's probably going to become more expensive as the world becomes more electronic than it is if electronic is ruling. And all of a sudden now we're trying to put gas in the system. People don't realize what oil and gas all goes into. Boxes, plastics, drugs, pharmaceuticals. They're never going to get rid of oil and gas. Petrochemicals. There's all kinds of use for oil and gas. So don't think just because we're not burning oil or burning fuel that we're not utilizing that sector of the economy. We just won't utilize it the same way. Thank you, Maxwell. Thank you. Bahamas, sir. Yeah, come with it, man. Robert, I had Puerto Rican some food over there so many times, man. I feel like I can show you around the island. For real. Well, y'all, we 35 in, 42 out. Please, we're going to keep doing this LISX thing till February. I have some people, like I said, got 100 blocks. I got some as few as 2. With what Megan is telling me what the blocks are worth, even with 2 blocks, 5 blocks, you got to have at least 1,000 to get in right now. But with those numbers, if it was 1 million times 10 or 1 million times 5, that's $5 million a year for the rest of your life. You're going to give me $30 and I'm going to give you $5 million? What kind of deal is that? Join the Noble Institution. Get you some financial freedom. Hang around people that are successful. Hang around people that are on there that want to do better. Hang around people that want to, go further. You guys have the opportunity to get in when basically only 5% of the populace in Iraq are in it now. Imagine it doubling at 10%. Imagine it doubling at 20%. Imagine it doubling at this, or imagine it doubling at that. The idea, guys, is that if you're in the ground floor, just like any of these other digital spaces that you might be in, you're not chasing the trend.